Okay, what we're going to be creating a landscape game or a portrait, so a vertical game. So we want to change this to a iPhone 5 portrait, and you can hit OK. Then you could just put lesson 4 Space Invader or Galaga type. Go ahead and give it a title. iPhone 5 portrait, and then you should be good to go. So the first thing that we're going to do is let's go ahead and go to home, and let's see. Yeah. Okay. So we are sporting this, and I'm going to move this back so you can see all of it. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get the scrolling background. So we're going to go back to scene, and I'm going to drag the background image in, and like so. Let me get that out of your way so you can see it. Now with the background image, we're going to click right here and we're going to drag it in, and you can see that it's not properly aligned, so we're going to just rotate that down like so. And I want to cover the entire canvas, so I'm going to do something like that. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add a second one because we're going to have this scrolling. So hold down Control, click on it, and just drag it. And I want you to just click it straight up like so. Now what we want to do is we want to change the velocity so that these scroll down, and what's going to happen is once this scrolls all the way down, we're going to change it back and put it up just like there. So that's why we have two kind of side by side lined up. All right. And it doesn't have to be exact since there's just black space. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the background, and we're going to go to motion and change the linear velocity. We want it going down the y-axis, and we want it going down. So let's go -15. If you go -30, -60, it'll go a lot faster, but that will work for now, right? And let's go ahead and get back here, and what I want you to do is I want you to create a rule, and I want you to change the attribute, and we're going to change the self position Y. So if you go to background, self position, Y, and what we're going to do is we want to say when this self position Y is less than, and then we got to enter in this. We got to do 0 minus, and then we got to do self size. So let's do the background and then the self size height, not the width, but the height. And we got to put brackets. I forgot to put the brackets in there. Divided by 2, and then close that. So there you go. You click OK. So what that means right here, the 0 minus the self size height divided by 2, that's basically just saying, let me go back. This height right here, this is measured at 0. So right now this is at 0. What this is saying is 0 minus self height divided by 2 is basically from here to here. And so once that gets down, right down all the way at the very bottom, I can't show you now because it's screwing up. Once it gets down to this point right here, you want to have it go all the way back up to the very top. And so we're going to go back here and we're going to say when that's less than half the height, we're going to change the self position. So go to change attribute, and we're going to get a self position Y. Self position Y. And then we're going to, we need to go back and let's take a look at the size of the scene. So let's go to scene, and we want to go to the game, attribute, display size. So the height is 568. So what we want to say is when this initial background goes all the way to the ground, we want to move it all the way up here. So what we're going to say is we have to add 568. So instead of 0, we want to add 568 plus half the width or half the height of this character right here. So it starts out, so it starts right here. Okay, if we just put 568, it would start right here since the middle point is 0. So 0 is starting at 568. We want 568 and then push it all the way up even further, which is half the height, so it starts right there. We don't want it to start halfway in. So let's go, I'm going to move this back down and get that. And I'm going to go back to the actor, and I'm going to do the plus sign. So I'm going to do 568 plus, let's do plus, and then do self size height divided by 2, all right, to get half the height. So 568 plus half the height. And click OK. And now when we preview it, and let's just put scrolling background. And when you preview it, it should start scrolling and come back up like so. All right. So there's the scrolling background. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the spaceship and move the spaceship in. So let's do that. I'm going to drag the spaceship in. Let me go back here, and I'm going to get the spaceship in. There it is. And I have the spaceship in, and I'm going to drag it in here. I'm going to make this maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, and now I'm going to make the movements. I'm going to double click. I'm going to click create a rule, and I'll go through this kind of fast just since you're familiar with this. We're going to do right key, and we're going to change the velocity, and let's change the velocity to the right, which is 0. Let's make the speed, let's say 310, and then otherwise we want to hold down Alt and make a copy of that, drag that into otherwise, and do the speed at 0 so it stops when you're not hitting the right key. And let's move right. We've got to stay organized. And then we can close that, and then to make a copy of that, click Alt and drag it out. And let's change that to move left. We're going to change the keyboard key to left and change the direction to 180. And you can leave the otherwise the same. So now when we play it, it should do something like that. And you can see that it goes outside, which is a problem. So there's numerous ways to stop it. We'll just create blocks and put them on either end. So let's go new, and right here new actor, and then collide. Let's go ahead and rename it that collide block right. And we're going to copy this and hold down Alt, drag, and make a copy. And let's rename that collide block left. And what we're going to do is we're going to just drag it outside. Oop. So this is collide block left, so I'm going to put it on the left, like so. And this is collide block right. So I'm going to put it right here. Okay. And now we need a collision event, so click right here. Create a rule. In the spaceship, we're going to say, hey, when this collides with the collide block right, we want it to stop. Actually, we don't even need a rule. Let's just do collide. Collide with that, and then hold down Alt, make another one, collide with the collide block left. Okay, and then you can see that it kind of bounces and spins and the blocks go everywhere. And that's okay. So what we need to do is we need to go into here and we need to go to the physics, and let's go fix rotation. And you can leave the let's set the bounciness to 0. And then what I want you to do is also go back to the collide block and go to the physics, and I want you to check fixed rotation and uncheck movable. And same thing with the collide block left and right. So do it to both ones. Oh, I already did that one. You want to do it to the right. So bounciness is 0. Movable. Let's see, and you want to uncheck movable and fix rotation, and yeah, so for both the right and the left, uncheck movable, fix rotation, and now when we play it, you should see that this one, I think, the one on the right is still moving, so let's go collide block right, and yeah, uncheck that. Make sure they're both not movable, and then play it, and now you have your spaceship, and you can move it left and right. Go ahead and make sure you save this, save your game right now.